This is Insiders Pro Wrestling, and the best is still to come.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday, and welcome to the latest episode of Between the Ropes with myself and Jeff. And we've got a lot of stuff to go over today, a lot of things going on in the wrestling world like usual. And we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to get into we've got the holidays, of course, coming up, and a merry early Christmas to all of you. It's just a few days away, 4 days, which is crazy. And then we get to the end of the year, New Year's, and all that good stuff. Just a lot of stuff going on, Jeff, which is usually the case around the holidays, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always a busy time. Hopefully everyone is doing well and enjoying time. If you're out of school or off work, hopefully you're enjoying that time. And hopefully you enjoyed I think, and spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about this in my favorite moments of the week, but what I thought was a great weekend wrestling last week. So
Yep. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of changes and stuff to things. And I didn't even get to watch TNA yet. I did read the results, but I have to go back and watch it. It looked like there's a lot of cool stuff that happened on that show. So that's just getting better and better as it heads toward the big AMC debut in January. So, and AMC is talking it up. They're advertising. They've got stuff out there going on for that. So that is a very cool thing. And, but yeah, man, wrestling is just, a lot of people kind of said and naysaying about the Cena stuff, saying it hit like a low. I don't know. I don't share that ideal. So, but yeah, I guess, Jeff, we'll talk about our upcoming schedule. I know we've got it's going to be a crazy week, and you can see it up there, guys. Obviously, tonight we're here with you for Between the Ropes. And then we got Fireflies at 6 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, of course, Eastern Standard Time. You won't want to miss that with everything that's going on with them right now and the Solo Sikoa's bunch. And then, of course, they were at the AAA pay-per-view as well. I saw a couple of people talking about it in the chat. So that's awesome that they're over there. But yeah, a lot of things going on with that. And then, of course, the rest of the week then, nothing on Thursday, of course, because that's Christmas Day. And hopefully you all are going to be celebrating that day with your family and your friends and loved ones and stuff like that. And obviously there will be no TNA show this coming week.
They do have one, as a matter of fact.
Oh, it's not an actual show, though, right?
No, it's their awards. It's their awards.
The awards thing, yeah. So you can turn that on. I mean, that'll be on. Is it on Thursday night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is.
So you could check it out.
I said we won't be here, but
right.
It will be on.
Yeah, I'll more than likely be watching Stranger Things, I think, on Christmas nights.
Same.
I'll be binging Stranger Things because we only got a couple episodes of that left, and then the big one that comes on New Year's Eve. So, but yeah, so that is our schedule for the week. A little bit of an abbreviated schedule, and then we coming back to do this. We doing this next Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll be right back here next Sunday then for a wrap up of what happened. And of course, a lot of big events coming in WWE, of course, in January and things like that. And just all this chaos kind of leading up to what's happening, which I'm sure we'll talk about during the show tonight. So, all right, let's see who some people are there.
There are one or two matches on Thursday as well.
Oh, okay.
So Apologies.
Probably not aired or something. They were probably taped, I would imagine, maybe. Yeah.
At some point, I would.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. We have Clown. What's going on? We have Tazzy's out there. We have Derek. What's going on, Derek? We have James Chadwick, of course. We have Brandon Davey. We've got Bunkers. We've got Damian Robinson. What's up, Damian? Melonhead. What's up, Melonhead? We have Brandon Sandman. We have James is telling me I'm late. Go to detention. Yeah. I came home to the house was like a whirlwind hit it, and the whirlwind's name is my daughter. It was just what I wanted to come home to after a 10-hour workday. But when you're a parent, you find those things out. Barry Monkey is here. Chris is here. My son Jacob says happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Same to him. John G is here. Big Dan is here. Dan, I was well over football a while back, man. I don't even care. I don't even care. I'm so used to it. It just doesn't bother me anymore. So I don't even care. I usually have basketball to look forward to. And in fact, actually, Boston's playing pretty well, which is surprising. Without Tatum, they're in like third place in the East, which I never thought would be the case. So I always have that. And of course, I'll always have the Dodgers to go back to as well. I'm not congratulating Philadelphia about nothing, Mr. Stormy. Nothing. They're going to go right down the crapper anyway. They ain't going anywhere this year. They got the Rams. They got the Seahawks. By the way, Jeff, did you see that game?
Yeah.
That's right. What a game that was. That Rams-Seahawks game was a barn burner, dude.
Man, that was a great game. I'm so glad that I caught the end of it. That was a great game.
Yeah, I wasn't watching it either, and I tuned in at the end and back and forth and back and forth. And, man, there's been the Chicago game too, the Bears game, their game with the Packers, same way. Like, it just looks like the cool thing is you're getting some new blood in there. Kansas City isn't going in this year, which is a first in a while. And now, as long as the Eagles go out, which I'm pretty sure that they will, I think we're going to get an all new thing happen. Look at Jacksonville. Look at the Jaguars. I mean, all of a sudden they're coming out. They just beat Denver. That's Denver's first loss at home. Football's crazy, man.
Don't get me started on that because Jacksonville's head coach was our offensive coordinator last season. And I'm not going to get started.
Dude, football is just a quick. Football almost seems, Jeff, to me, like the teams that have when you've got those really good coordinators, they're the teams that really do well. Like for the Cowboys, they have a terrible defensive coach. He's awful. That Eberflus is awful. He was awful at Chicago, got canned midway through the season. I think it was Chicago, or was it? I can't remember. But he got canned halfway through the season. They bring him into Dallas, and he's just as bad or worse. And when you get those coordinators and they're good, man, you because it's almost inspired. Like the head coach might be great too, but when you get those coordinators in, they're very important to the team. Very, very important to the team. So
yeah. I mean, you have to have. I think the thing, and I was actually talking to Derek about this earlier. You're seeing a more innovative style of play.
Yeah,
and the old coaches like Todd Bowles, who's been around the league forever, are having trouble adapting. I think in some ways, and not for anything, but the quarterback play, even the quote unquote bad ones that people talk about, still play at a high level. And offenses now are so dynamic and unique, and then you factor into that on defense you have to be extremely careful how you hit an offensive player. So it's really changed the game. So there's another good game out of Steelers and the Lions right now.
Lions have the ball at like it's first and goal, and the Steelers are holding on to a 5-point lead. Like, yeah, it's crazy. The NFL is crazy, but it's fun though. I don't mind. I might look, like I said, my team loses, they lose. I don't mind as long as I go into the playoffs and you're watching some fun games. And some of these games have been amazing to watch, like very, very competitive. Like Jeff said, it's just, it's just a different field of players that are going in. A lot of these teams too, Jeff, have very young quarterbacks, and very, very good ones. So,
yeah, very young, very good. And the folks who talk about Shedeur Sanders, here's what I'll say. One, he's a rookie. Not comparing him to who I'm about to say, but Peyton Manning still has the NFL record for most interceptions as a rookie, and you see what he turned out to be. So just saying, give people a chance. Yeah.
Got to give you got to give them. They need a little bit of time sometimes to just get adapted a little bit. But man, it's exciting. It's really exciting. So, did I watch the season 1 of Welcome to Derry? Yes, the entire thing was very good. Yes, it was very good. Jeff and I discussed it.
I'm not spoiling it for anyone who's still interested in starting it.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's worth the watch, I'll say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. If you're into horror, and of course, if you liked it, the movie and stuff, that then you will absolutely enjoy Derry for sure. Chance Tazi's going on AEW pay-per-view. That's cool, dude. Enjoy. Manchester United lost today as well. I hate football. What's up, Jen Carter? How are you? The Bills won. They're going to have a little bit of the AFC is wide open too. I mean, look, you got the Patriots. Like I said, you got Jacksonville. It's Denver. I mean, it's just cool. When you don't have that same team, you don't have the Chiefs always in it. It's cool when you see some new blood getting in there. Breaking news about TNA, according to Fightful, officials are aiming to sign the Hardy Boys to a more long-term contract. Okay, I'm all right with that. Okay, all right, we're gonna get started. We could talk football, but this is a wrestling show, so we need to talk some wrestling. And there's a lot going on, Jeff. So, shall we get into it?
Yep, here's the news.
All right.
All right. So do we have any breaking news?
You know what, Jeff? I think I'll just include just the one little thing, and we might be revisiting this at a later point in the show too, or some people might be discussing it as well. But I gotta go to SmackDown, and a lot of people have been asking, have been wanting to see a change with Cody Rhodes. Well, I think we're getting something. I don't exactly know what way it's going to go, but I'm starting to see some different kind of tendencies in Cody Rhodes. Of course, saying that he works for the fans. Of course, still has the fans on his side, but the way he talked to the commissioner of SmackDown was very un-Cody like, Jeff. Yeah, right. But I don't know. I don't exactly know where that's going to go, Jeff. But it looks as if, and we've kind of seen storylines like this a little bit before, but it looks as if the heel in the feud, Drew McIntyre, is bringing the better, for lack of a better term, the dark side out of Cody Rhodes, and I'm okay with that. I've been saying for a while that I think that Cody needed a bit of a change. That things were just getting a little bit redundant, and it looks as if, Jeff, that they are giving him at least somewhat of what looks like a dark kind of an edge to him. And maybe in this upcoming match where McIntyre is getting everything he wants, maybe that's going to bring it out even more. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't even know that Cody necessarily needs to change, more so that he just doesn't need to be quite the baby face all the time.
Right.
And what I mean by that is, I mean, you remember some of those, like, just over the top baby faces, just too nice.
Yep.
Always believing in the good in everyone, that kind of baby face.
Yep.
That's kind of what we've seen with Cody.
Yeah.
On Friday, while, yeah, it was flirting with that line a little bit, it felt like someone who realizes their spot and is like, you're not just going to push me around.
Yeah.
So, I feel like I don't necessarily know he needs a complete overhaul, and I don't know that he needs to be a, complete heel or a complete face, but just be more realistic, I would say. Just, don't be so trusting in everything. So, but yeah, I like the human side of things and that real emotion that it feels like he's expressing at this point.
Yeah, 100%. Brandon's referring to him as Homelander, and Vic Dan said the same thing. I'd love to see him become wrestling's version of Homelander. Look, he's never, kind of like Jeff alluded to, he's never going to get to the point where I don't think fans are going to hate him. And if he does turn into something with a little bit of an edge, like Jeff said, maybe ditch the suit a little bit, maybe ditch the fancy dress, the shoes, all that kind of stuff. Maybe bring him down to earth a little bit more. Be more like Stone Cold Steve Austin, says James Chadwick. Yeah, something along those lines. Because I agree with Jeff. I don't ever see him being a full-blown heel where the crowd will hate him. But I do think that, the whole coming down in the suit stuff, it was just getting a little stale. And SmackDown needs a kind of a shot of adrenaline, especially going back to 3 hours. So I think it's smart what they're doing, and I'm in for it. I want to see it happen, and I like the fact that Drew is involved, because Drew obviously is at a point in his career where, regardless of getting a title for Drew really doesn't even mean anything at this point. Drew is, we all know who he is, but if he ends up being this type of guy, almost in a way, Jeff, like a Bray Wyatt. Because you remember how Bray would kind of turn people a little bit, right? When he would wrestle, he'd bring that out of them and stuff. Mm-hmm. So maybe seeing Drew doing that kind of a thing would be cool.
Yeah, and I would add, though, with Drew and with Cody, what if they do it? What if they give us the change?
That give Drew the title?
You do give Drew the title.
They could.
And, obviously you don't have him keep it for a year, but if he keeps it from now until Mania or Elimination Chamber even, that could be a reset for both. I think. Yeah. Because then if Drew gets the title, the interesting story is, what do you do to keep him motivated? Everything up to this point has been about going after that title. Once he gets it, now what's the motivation? I know keeping it is one, but it's got to be deeper than that. So now what's the motivation?
Yeah, that's a great point. And then you go to the comment, Brandon Davey coming up with, I still think Cody attacked Jacob. You have that hanging over people too. Mm-hmm. That's something that they could write in, something for that. Who did that? And you really want to get somebody turned into a heelish type of person. That's a perfect storyline to do it with. And that could really go to almost anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be Cody, but if they really want to establish somebody along those lines, and that's certainly something they're going to go back to somewhere down the road. So SmackDown going to 3 hours, Impact going an hour later. Wrestling doesn't want me getting any sleep. Very true. Very true. Drew brutalizes Cody inside Hell in a Cell. Halfway through, Cody wakes up and snaps. Yeah, I mean, look, you could certainly see it. Like I said, I don't think he'll ever go full blown heel. But could he get darker? Certainly. Yeah, certainly. So yeah, that's cool. I don't know, Jeff, do you have any more news on your end?
I do have, it's not really breaking news. It's just a cautionary tale and a bit of understanding more about today's society. So on Friday as well, we saw Carmelo Hayes win the United States title.
Yeah.
Huge win for him. A guy that's had a ton of potential, was absolutely amazing in NXT. A lot of people were starting to chirp online saying, hey, what are you guys doing with him? You're doing nothing with him. And it made me think of this question. I don't know that we can answer it tonight, but at least think about it as a group. Do you think that it's your angrily worded post on social media that helped people? Or do you think that maybe, just maybe, there was a plan and we're just too impatient to wait it out? Because some people, not all people go to the main roster and win a title within the first year or two. Some people never win a title at all. I got you. Okay, so sorry, it was spoiled. Anyway.
Oh, brother. Oh well.
As you got one. So, but anyway, I guess that's just my question. And again, for the people who spoil things, screw you.
Yeah, that sucks.
You suck.
Because it's so hard to tell. Because if you're not watching, you know what I mean? Like if you're not constantly watching the socials and all that kind of stuff, it's hard to know what it is and what's not, or what's happening and what's not, and everything like that. I looked at the same thing that Jeff did, and I was thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to watch the end of a certain part of the show, so I thought it just came naturally after that. So I was like, okay, I'll watch the rest of it, and didn't get a chance to. So yeah, my bad. But screw you guys who do spoilers. Thanks.
Wonderful.
All right. So let's go to the next topic here, to the news, and we're going to talk about this should be a lot of fun. This interview, Joe.
John Cena and Cody Rhodes on Cody's podcast. Jeff, I will admit flat out, I only heard bits and pieces of this. I did not get to watch the whole thing. So if you did, I will gladly defer to you, because I have to go back and I have to watch the whole thing.
Well, Joe, because I know a lot of people don't have 2 hours to sit and listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
I picked out a couple spots for us to check out.
Okay, cool.
And
that works.
The first part here was Cena discussing the face, the infamous smile at the end of the match. So here's the first clip. I want to listen to it, and then we can give our reaction to it. And same thing with folks in the chat. Give your thoughts if you haven't had a chance to listen.
Okay. We're just in a sleeper hole, man.
Yeah. Ed Koski brought that up.
We're just in a sleeper hole.
Sleeper for
but
sleeper.
We're having that conversation with the audience.
Yeah.
So as I essentially take my last breath, I have struggled. If you think of somebody, the natural causes scenario, or however we picture loss in our life, all of us have been through it. They struggle, they hang on just long enough to make sure to say goodbye to everybody that's been meaningful in their lives. And that whole day was so many unbelievably vulnerable, meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
And then you realize I've connected with everybody I love.
Yeah.
Physically, I feel great. I think it's time to take that last breath.
Yeah.
And that's that. I hate to keep going back morbidly to obituaries, but like this person died peacefully.
He's faced death with a smile.
Yes. And knowing that, like, man, we are in a good place. We're going to be great going forward. And this is literally like the bottom of the T-shirt says, I gave everything. Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
And that, in that one moment, that was that going peacefully.
So he talks about going peacefully there. And I've seen some folks react to that, that particular clip. But Joe, what are your thoughts on hearing him verbalize his thoughts in that moment as he's performing in front of all of us?
I mean, it kind of just validated what I kind of thought about it, which is cool, because I was saying all along, if people had believed that wasn't his decision on his own, they were crazy. They were absolutely crazy. They didn't know what they didn't know what John Cena truly was or who he truly was. You know, he was at the point where he had made his mind up. He wanted to leave wrestling a certain way, and it's just I think it just validates everything that I was thinking anyway, and now I'm glad that this came out, and I'm glad that people can hear it, not having to wait for something else behind the scenes from WWE come out down the road, because now they really can't say anything. It was his decision, like Jeff mentioned on our last show with you guys. John Cena is an old school dude, and this is what old school does. Old school passes on to new. And then and like I said, he looked like that's what the smile came from.
Yeah,
he was at peace. He knew, okay, this is it, and this is how I want to. Jeff, him winning that match would have done no good. It would have done no good. The fans would have loved it, but it wouldn't have done him any good whatsoever.
But Joe, here's my question. Here's my question to you. Would the fans have loved it? Because
that's true.
Immediately after the referee does this for a 3 count, the first comment online is they buried Gunther.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations where how do you want it? Like what is it that you want? Because you say you don't want the old guard to steal spots from newer talent or rising talent or talent that's not from that generation. Okay. Yeah. So you put that type of guy over, then it's like, okay, but you don't want that guy to beat the guy that's on his way out, like him going into retirement, riding off into the sunset with a W instead of an L is going to make retirement so much better. I mean, I don't know. I think sometimes I'm going to say this in the nicest way I can say it. I think sometimes logic escapes us as fans, and we want to make it more complicated than it should be. And I think that and Joe, I had to do this. So I never do this typically, but for this interview, I just wanted to see what the reaction was before the episode dropped. Okay. And I'm scrolling through some of the comments, and it's like, oh, well, John's not going to say anything. It's going to be a garbage interview, blah, 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 blah. That was like 15 to 20 comments. And maybe you thought that this was just a bunch of fluff, and that's okay. Yes, James, Daniel Bryan was right. Maybe it was a lot of fluff. Maybe it was a company pat on the back. Who knows? All I know is this. I don't think John Cena would go on that platform and just chill. I don't.
No.
I think because if you listen to parts of it, he talked a little bit about The Rock and Travis Scott stuff. Not a lot, but he said some very interesting things about that situation. But yeah, I just feel like, going back to having Cena win, what good does it do to have Cena win? It really doesn't do anyone any good.
Nope.
And now you have to find a way to dig Gunther out of a hole because fans claim that he's buried. So I just wonder what people really want. So, Joe, I have one last clip.
Okay.
And this one kind of speaks to the future of the business and putting people, Barry Monkey, I'll say, God bless your algorithm, because my God, people lost their minds.
Yeah, I did not see that at all.
People have lost their
Yep.
flipping mind. I think most people had a problem with him tapping out. If we were to poll everyone that was pissed off about how it went down, whether he won or lost, I think most people assumed that he would lose, but it was him tapping out that was so problematic. I think that was people's biggest problem, because he's been the guy that's, never give up, never back down from people, that kind of thing. So I think that's what bothered people the most. But again, hearing him explain, it was that he envisioned it being a last breath. That tells you the state of mind that he was channeling for that character in that moment, as that character is facing their demise for the final time. He's putting that character to rest, thinking back on all the great years that he's had up to that point. He looks on it fondly. So why not go out with a smile?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And look what that's going to do to Gunther now. I mean, who did Gunther stare down? AJ Styles. Gunther is going to almost be the new legend killer.
We're about to talk about him. Don't.
Yeah. We'll get to that, but I mean, just look what he created, and that's only in the matter of a week's time.
Yeah,
a week's time. So it's going to be something to see.
Yep.
So
all right, here's the next clip. This is the last one that I have, but I just wanted to get your thoughts and everyone's thoughts on this as well.
I got to have one last beer in the locker room in my gear, in my socks, my knee pads, the jorts.
Yeah.
I made a toast. And the toast was to the metrics of the evening. Largest arena in WWE history.
Wow.
Largest for the building itself. Very rarely do we hit those milestones.
No, we do not. Yes, very rare.
And the only reason I wanted to showcase those metrics is because I said that, Haku was in the room and Javon Evans was in the room.
So your last toast in the wrestling business was with Javon and Haku?
And everyone in between. We have legends, we have future stars, we have talent that are front and center in our programming. The locker room was full. I can't believe that many people stayed. So I have 12 ounces of conversation left in me, and I choose to use a moment to say, wow, this is what we did tonight. The reason we did that is because of the effort of people like Haku.
Yeah.
Also, the goal is for you younger guys to shove that shit straight up my ass.
Mm-hmm.
You now have the metric.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow, that's cool, man.
So, I mean, think about that moment, Joe, where you have John Cena on his way out. You've got a legend like Haku in the locker room who paved the way for someone like Cena.
Yep.
And now you've got someone like Javon Evans, like Leon Slater,
Yep.
like Sol Ruka, like so many others, Obafemi. And now they're in that same room because of John Cena, and Cena's there because of it's like a full circle moment. And I just felt like that was such a great clip to discuss, because it goes to that further point of Cena wanting to leave the business in a better place than when he got into it.
Yep. And what an honor it's going to be then. And what he passes on, Jeff, now is that they'll think the same way when someday down the road they're doing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're stepping away. And so what he's aiming to do is he's making sure that the traditions, the older traditions, get carried on. Because if he doesn't do that for them, they never hear about it, the tradition would stop. Traditions get passed on from one thing to another. It's like fathers to sons, or fathers to daughters, or, you know, or moms to sons and daughters. You know, that gets passed on, and that's what you remember. And you don't think that Javon Evans is going to remember that at some point in his career when he packs it up and things like that? That's why I think, you know, when we last talked, all of us, you know, that's why, you know, we were looking at comments online of people saying, well, that's old school. Well, yeah, it is old school, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great old school in that respect is a great thing. And John Cena is from the old school. He's an older school kind of a guy. And this is, and like I said, the things that he passed on, yeah, it's fantastic, Jeff. And now, like I said, I'm glad this came out, you know, and I'm glad they didn't wait on it, because they could have waited for another 5-6 months and put it on that behind the scenes show that WWE has, and we would have heard about it then. But I'm glad they did this, and I'm glad that people are hearing it now. Again, some of these naysayers that are on X spouting off, they're not going to believe whatever is said. They're going to find a way to say, this is scripted BS. He's just saying what he has to say. Triple H really did all this. He was the guy who made him do it. You know, he's just being a good soldier, and he's just saying, you know, that. So they're going to turn it around anyway. But to me, I thought it was the perfect ending. I thought it was great. I thought it was great for the future of the business. The way it was even set up with the matches during the course of the night, and all those people from NXT that were getting the rub anyway. I thought it was done perfectly. And now that I hear all this, you know, I like it even more.
Yeah, and the other thing that I would say too, back to your point, I've come to the realization, Joe, that, and it's not just wrestling, it's just about everything. Don't mean to get on a soapbox, but I've come to the realization that people just don't want to hear the truth anymore.
Yeah.
People don't care about it. They don't care if it comes from the horse's mouth, because if it comes from the horse's mouth, if it doesn't fit their narrative, it still doesn't matter, because it doesn't fit what they want. So I've kind of given up on hoping that people would be decent, because I kind of expect people not to be now when it comes to discourse, when we're discussing wrestling. I don't expect people to be honest anymore. At least some people, most people, because most people view wrestling through a tribal lens and not through what it should be, which is entertainment and appreciating it. If you don't like a company, that's fine. I mean, there's some, you know, there are certain companies, certain shows I don't watch either, but I don't talk about them. So, you know, that's my little soapbox, not a grievance, but I did want to add that a little bit. So,
yeah. No, I think it's great, man. And this ties right in right here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this dude right here, man, he is soaking up the heat after beating Cena, man.
Most hated guy in wrestling, or it has to be right up there. I mean, You saw the crowd give it to him. The little stare down that he had with AJ Styles. I mean, we know Randy Orton was the legend killer. Is this guy the career killer? I mean, is this going to be the guy that he's retired Goldberg. How he's retired Cena? Is he going to retire AJ as well? Man, you want to talk about right now, this dude's got nuclear heat. And the thing is, Jeff, he didn't even do anything on Monday. He didn't even do anything. All he did was show up, come in, gloat a little bit, and walk out of the arena. And then he stared down AJ. I mean, that's it. He didn't do anything. He didn't wrestle. But he doesn't.
Which was great.
Yeah.
He didn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
All he had to do is show his face. And to be honest, a good litmus test of this would be don't even have him come out to the ring 1 week. Just show him backstage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how loud the fans boo.
Oh, there's no doubt.
No doubt at all.
Yep.
No doubt. Because with Gunther, he played it up perfectly. Talked trash about Cena, called him the B word. But you mentioned the stuff with AJ. He didn't have to say much to AJ. He didn't have to do anything physical.
Nope.
To AJ. But when he rolled down that window and he did this, I said at that moment, I was like, this dude gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they played this right, holy cow, I get, you know how they were talking about the death of sports entertainment, how Michael Cole made that statement?
Yep.
I don't know how many people heard Gunther's interview on ESPN, but he talked about professional wrestling. He's always talked about being a professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
What if Gunther is the person that kills sports entertainment for good?
It's interesting, isn't it?
It's bigger than being an icon killer. You're essentially ending one era of the business.
Yep.
And shifting it into a different one, quite possibly blending old school and new school.
Yep.
That's, if played correctly, that's how I think this could roll.
It certainly could, Jeff. And look at, the company that WWE is associated with might have a little bit of a say in this too. They may want it to go a little bit of a different direction and not be so, look, we all know Vince was all about the entertainment stuff. All about the entertainment stuff from the very beginning. And I'm not even talking, more recent creepy Vince. I'm talking about, Vince from back in the day when he had Hulk Hogan going at his biggest moments. That was always a showcase. That was always the entertainment side of it. But it wasn't as much of the wrestling side of it. He kind of got away from that. And he pushed the entertainment stuff, sometimes pushing to extremes. But now maybe they're circling back, and maybe TKO is fans of that. Maybe they want to see that happen, and then let's make this a little more realistic, a little more realism. That's not to say that they're going to cut it out all the way. You still have Jeff and Chris talk about it. You still have Howdy's group. They still have that little bit of a thing going there, the tribute to Bray and all that kind of stuff. A little bit of the supernatural stuff, but they're not pushing it to the extreme. And hey, I'm fine with that. And like you said, Jeff, what better of a wrestler to do that and to put them in that different era than that guy that's up on that board right now?
Yeah, he's as old school as old school gets.
Yeah, he is.
And he has the talent to back it up.
Yep.
So.
Yep. See, wrestling said now, hopefully anybody leaving WWE contract expiring has to be put through Gunther at the end just to keep feeding them. Yeah, look, that's one thing. TNA, Jeff, how many times have we said that TNA always had really cool farewells?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
right?
They have some of the best.
Yeah, like over the years that we've been watching that show, they've always done cool stuff with people who they knew were leaving and going somewhere else, which is awesome. Well, now the WWE's got a built-in like guy here who can do that. He's now going to be, because it's not going to matter. People are going to hate him just even more. So I don't know. I think I think it's brilliant. And again, I think Cena set it up, and what a favor he did. And I'm sure that Gunther, the man outside of wrestling, has to have, thanked John at some point and said some things to him. And I'm sure he has. We'll never see that side of it because that's going too deep into the reality of it. But I'm sure he has. And I'm sure he's extremely grateful to John for doing it, and making him that guy. So tonight, professional wrestling destroyed. Yeah. Why would Cole have said that? Nothing the announcer teams ever say is meaningless. Nothing. You will find words that are said by announcers over the course of wrestling, as much as you watch it, will be almost important or more important than things that the wrestlers say. We blipped off there a second.
Yeah.
We're back.
There we go.
But yeah, Dan's comparing him to Ivan Drago of Rocky. It's a good comparison. A huge villain in the Rocky movies, right? So, that's what I said. I mean, people all disregarded it. People all hated it. They booed. I mean, Gunther got booed straight out of Hershey, PA. He might have been the first person ever to get booed out of Chocolate Town. But he did. He got booed straight out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I'm just happy Gunther got Goldberg before Cena, because if he had faced Goldberg now, Gunther would be back to being a babyface. Yeah, that's true.
He'd go from being the biggest heel to being the biggest babyface.
That's very true.
Overnight.
That's very true.
Yep.
Yeah, very true.
All right, man. Well,
all right, man.
Speaking of a heel,
oh man,
this dude returned, and my goodness, I'm not gonna say certain people that he compared Swerve Strickland to. I'll just say that there was a documentary recently released on Netflix about the individual he compared Swerve Strickland to. MJF is he's just gold. He's just money, man. And my goodness, he just made World's End was already, I thought was going to be a good show. But that AEW World Championship match is now a 4-way. And man, count me in for that.
I've said that MJF is going to be, and I got to be right up there with the most important wrestlers in AEW. I mean, he pretty much said he's committed there. He came out and said, now things could change there, but he's very important for that show. Very, very important for that show. Like we've been talking about with Gunther. He's got his own style. Very, he's not the old school guy that Gunther is, but look, MJF just brings, he just attracts people to watch, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to have the audiences come out, whether it be for a personality or a storyline or something along those lines. But yeah, one of the best heels in the business at a young age, and
what? So he mentioned how Hangman and him went to AEW, and then Swerve went to WWE, and the crowd was booing because it's AEW crowd, so of course that's the thing. And MJF says, "Whoa! It's a perfectly fine company, people." It was hilarious. That was fun. I mean, it was so funny. I think I've made my feelings clear about that. I think sometimes that stuff is just low hanging fruit, and I think it's lazy to do the whole WWE thing just to get a cheap boo or some cheap heat, whatever. But in the way that it was done with that, it was hilarious, and I was like, that's good. But he said a lot of stuff. If you haven't heard the promo, go back and check it out because it was a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, it's good when he's around. Man, you know, it's just they miss him when he's not, and so it's must see TV when MJF's around, and he's going to be, like I said, he's going to be up at the top with them for a long time to come. So
he changes the energy.
Yeah, he does
around that company, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think you can tell creatively when he's not around. In my opinion, when he's not around creatively, they struggle just a tad.
Yeah,
just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But when he's around, man, they seem to be firing on all cylinders. So I feel like they're going to have a great end to 2025, which will just catapult them into 2026. And I think this is a good thing for wrestling as a whole. So
yeah, look, and you know, we say that all the time. The landscape is changing. You know, we just mentioned how WWE, it looks like they're going to change a little bit. I mean, obviously TNA with that TV deal is going to change for sure. And now, you know, AEW, you know, you want to see them all succeed. I'd like to have a reason to watch all of them. Not that I get time, but I'd like to have a reason to watch them all. And there are certain people that are on these shows that have to be prominent to have people watch. And MJF is certainly one of them. So very, very important to that company. No doubt. No doubt. Good stuff.
All right. Well, Joe, you said you didn't get a chance to see TNA.
I read the results and I did read about this, but I did not get to see it live yet. So I'm going to probably watch it tonight after the show.
Man. Okay. So Matt Hardy was a part of the Team TNA versus Team NXT.
Yeah.
Steel cage match.
Yeah.
He got attacked going to the ring. Dutch and Vincent's music hit. They come down. They pick Matt up. They take him backstage, and then he's just somewhere in this room, and they are talking to him about how they want to help and all this stuff. And it just gave off to me old school Wyatt family vibes. They're building him up, and I said this on the stream because I thought that the symbolism of, I mean, it was like a ritual. They were talking about, you know, like it was almost like a sacrifice. It was kind of weird, but he had on a shirt and it had goats on it because, you know, him and Jeff refer to as goats. Yeah. And I said in the chat almost instantaneously, what happens to goats? Where do they get led? And I had a couple of people pick up what I was putting down, but don't look now, but the Hardys might be in a little trouble at the hands of the Righteous. Based on how this played out on Thursday, even though it didn't seem threatening, it was threatening.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited about this too. When we first saw them arrive, look, I've liked these guys. They were in TNA before, and I love what they do. And the trail that Bray left in WWE isn't just there; it extends to other people. And these other people that he could have, that were speculated about, that See Wrestling talked about in plenty of his videos over the years, that Bray could have had impacts with, I think the Righteous are two of those guys. And the fact that he's also been very close to Matt, obviously, and the Hardys, you're seeing that legacy kind of played out. And I can't be more excited that these guys are in TNA. I don't know. Listen, I don't pretend to know about contracts. I don't know the details of that. I don't even like reading about that kind of stuff anymore because you just don't know what's right and what's not. I don't know how long they're going to be around, but I sure as hell am going to enjoy it while they are.
Yeah.
And
apparently we can't even watch clips online anymore because it might be from a freaking taping. So
yeah.
Thanks for spoiling that for me too, folks.
Oh man. Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, you know, Big Dan even brings up, I want to Righteous why it's 6. It can happen. It can happen.
Here's what I think could happen, Joe. Not only, I don't think we'll get it in that form.
Okay, yeah.
If we do get something, I think we will get, for a brief moment in time, because here's what I think will happen. I think Matt's going to buy into whatever Vincent and Dutch are selling. And I think because of that, he's going to bring Matt along with him. And those 4 are going to kind of be along the same lines. And eventually, Matt and Jeff are going to figure out that they're the goats being led to, you know.
Yep.
So, but I do think there's a possibility that the two groups cross paths. Because what I think will happen is I think the Righteous will reincarnate broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I also think we'll get Willow back. So I think there's a possibility that the groups might interact in some way. Whether we get a match or not, I don't know. But I think it's too much there to not have them interact in some way.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine that?
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Good Lord.
Man. I hope I'm right.
I mean, that right there, Jeff, is that's a Bray Wyatt tribute show, is what that is. That would be a Bray. And some people have already speculated too, and it's kind of gaining steam. You guys had mentioned it, that the chat had mentioned it. What if Karrion Kross follows along, and he gets involved in it as well? Then you're talking about that whole group that had talked about Bray and everything like that. So yeah, that's just like Jeff said, obviously it's a dream scenario for a lot of us to see, but what a tribute to Bray that would end up being. Amazing. Yeah, absolutely awesome.
All right, so on that same show, really? Did you see what Wrestling just
Being honest, after their tag title run, I would love WWE to send White 6 to TNA for a year, sign Karrion, and just let TNA cook with these guys. That would be tremendous. Yeah. Look, I mean, C's watched TNA for a long time too, and see, you know, he was watching, Jeff, when you were well before I was. And you guys were seeing like the bloody side of TNA. You guys were seeing Rosemary and that group
when they were doing some crazy
stuff.
Yeah.
Like the gore and stuff that they would use.
Yeah,
I mean
the stuff they did with Sue Young and
dude. And remember, and see to his point. Remember what channel they're going to. They're going to a horror-centric channel. This is a channel that had Walking Dead. This is a channel that has Shudder. They are a horror network.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do right now, and this is not planned at all, but thank you, C, for throwing a wrench in my plan here. I'm joking. All right, let's play Fantasyland here with wrestling, and let's say that somehow, some way, you can pull that off. What if they do it like this? What if they pull off a trade and trade the Wyatt Six to TNA? My question is, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, so apologies in advance. Is Leon Slater for the Wyatt Six a fair trade?
Wow. I mean, a lot of people kind of assumed that he was going to end up there anyway.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's interesting.
I'm just going to throw that out there. I mean, it's a wild scenario, but yeah, I think we live in wild times, so why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's interesting, though, coming from C, because that says a lot to me. And C, tell me if I'm reading your comment wrong, if I'm picking up something that I'm not supposed to, but I feel like you're a little disenchanted at the moment. Would that be correct in assuming that? Because we talked about on Tuesday, would it be beneficial for the Wyatt Six to lose the tag titles to the MFTs? Because a lot of people feel like, well, we haven't seen the Wyatt Six defend them a lot during the time that they've had them. And it almost feels like the tag division on SmackDown is at where Raw's tag division was a couple months ago. It's kind of like they flip-flopped. So yeah, I'm curious if I'm picking that up correctly, because I mean, I certainly see that there are times where it feels like they're floating a little bit. That's the only way that I can really describe it, because it just feels like they're there, but WWE's not advancing their story anyway. I mean, right now, if we're being completely honest, from the time they ended their feud with Chad Gable's group to today, I know that their motivation has to do with family, but I feel like WWE hasn't done a lot in the way of adding context and depth and layers to that storyline. And see if I'm on the right track there. Let me know. But I mean, right here, he says 100%. We all know WWE can do much more with Wyatt Six, but they're just opting not to do anything. Just let TNA find the balance because they're happy to take those risks with characters. And I think that's part of it too. You're just not taking risk with the Wyatt Six right now. They just feel like a garden variety, scary faction.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, and that's no disrespect to them. It's not them. It's just WWE is not adding them in spots that translate to depth in their stories. Like, it's not advancing why they're doing what they're doing, or how Howdy ended up the way he did, or who Howdy really is, because that, you know, we have context from Bray, from when we had Bray, but now the Wyatt Six are their own entity. We have gotten those video packages, but I feel like we need more now that this group has been here for a while. We got those initial tapes and everything, but now we just need a little bit more depth to it, because you know, that initial is kind of worn off, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I still love them.
And you know what, Jeff? Maybe it's because of the direction that WWE seems to be headed into.
Right.
Maybe, you know, like we talked about with TKO, maybe they don't necessarily want to explore that as much. And maybe because of this whole thing with Gunther, that they're trying to maybe go back to, or go less to the entertainment side of it, which isn't, being fair, isn't going to really bode well for groups like the White Six, because they are not grounded in a lot of reality. They were always best when they were mysterious, when they had all the cryptic stuff going on, when they had the horror elements and stuff going on. And now there's not really much of that. Like Jeff said, the scariest thing about them now is Howdy with the mask. Even Nikki, to an extent, really isn't that scary anymore. She used to scare the crap out of Cole all the time when she'd come down to the ringside. Well, it's not even being talked about in that respect anymore. And stuff. So yeah, it's a great point. Yeah. I mean, chat, what do you all think? I mean, what do you all think about it? Let us know. I think the suggestion would be a good one. How they would do it, I don't know, but I think the suggestion would be a good one. If TNA is going to be allowed to, if they're, because of where they're headed, and they're going to do more stuff with like some horror stuff and things, which I've always said wrestling is best when it has horror stuff in it. It just is, all over the years. And this is from the beginning of The Undertaker. And even before that, wrestling is better when it reflects things that pop culture like. And horror is starting to make another big comeback again. It comes and goes. And now we just had Welcome to Derry. We've got a lot of horror stuff coming out next year, a lot of horror films that are returning. So they come and go. And I think it's best when it reflects that. And so, yeah, let them explore that with TNA. If TNA is willing to do it and AMC is going to want that on their channel, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Then why
I just
not?
threw out another option too. Given the fact that they had a match last night against Psycho Circus and AAA, AAA might be another great destination too. If they, if they want to do some different darker things with them, I think they could do that in AAA.
Yeah,
the fans love them. Yeah, in AAA, and I didn't get a chance to see the full show from last night. I just saw some clips. And from the clips, that match was absolutely nuts. So I can't wait to watch it later. But yeah, that's another spot. I mean, again, I don't want anybody to think, because I know sometimes people take comments and everything. I'm not giving up. I haven't given up. But I think if anything, I do think they need to put a little more fuel in that rocket at this point, because we need to see him take off again. I think now, I do think that Friday was a good step, but I think we need to continue to see more, and we got to get more story. Like, they can get physical, they can have brawls and stuff, but the thing that draws us to the Wyatt Six and to Bray Wyatt is the storytelling.
No doubt.
We need to see more of that. We need to see some QR codes. We need to see some clues drop. We need to see some glitches and those kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah, just having them lurk around backstage and peeking out the side of somewhere.
Right. I mean, always keep us on our toes.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Selfishly, though, I'd want TNA just for the interactions with the Righteous Hardy Boys and Karrion. Well, yeah. I mean, there's nothing.
Us too. We do the watch along, so we'd love that.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would definitely work for us. Yeah, no doubt. Horror is like Karma Chameleon. It comes and goes. It comes and goes. Yeah, it depends on what's good and what's not. But look, it's never going to be something that's going to go away. It'll always be there. Yeah, you just have to have. And again, they're getting a lot of these younger guys now that are up and coming, new directors and stuff, new blood that are going to take over some of this stuff, and they're going to run with it, and it's going to be different, and it's going to be good. So, yep, good stuff. All right, man, what do we got next?
All right, so we're going to talk about Team TNA, Joe, picking up the victory, but I meant to change that up. But at what cost? And what I mean by that is Team TNA won, but this was the end of the match.
Yeah,
Ariana Grace kicked Santino, her father, in the nether region.
Yeah, how about that one? I did read about this. I mean, I kind of figure, and I think even a lot of you guys, when I was watching with you guys the last time, were saying that they were thinking she was going to turn on him. So it wasn't a complete surprise, but still, I mean, again, this is again something in wrestling that we've seen this father-daughter, Stephanie, Vince, and in other cases, but this is just a fun storyline. They had to pay this off because where else was it going to go? We kept getting this WWE or the NXT versus TNA. What was going to be the payoff? Where were they going to go with this? And to have his own daughter do this, that was the payoff. And now this can continue. This can keep going because now you've put, and look, Santino is in a very bad spot because, that's his daughter. So what is Santino now going to do? It's not like you could it's not like your emotions are going to turn. And I don't see Santino, hating his daughter for doing something like this. It doesn't fit with his character really. But again, this is just going to be something to keep an eye on, and it's going to keep it's something that's going to keep the stuff with NXT going, is what it is. They raised it, and now they're going to keep going with this storyline. But I like it, Jeff, because again, it's going to get more eyes on this, and now there's even more motivation when you kind of thought that, well, this kind of looks like it's coming to an end. Where else are they going to go with it? Well, now it's a family thing, and now it's gotten very, very, very personal.
Yeah, it's personal now. Santino and Stax have to move some furniture at some point.
Yep.
Soon, because I mean this was again, I mean it was predictable,
right?
But it was so well done.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you could tell that it was coming because she came in and she kind of gave him the little sheepish hug that you see before a heel turn, that kind of thing. But it was done well. And now it's like, okay, where does this battle go next? Because I even said this on Thursday too. Ray Walt at one point said Team TNA has won the war. And I said, I think he's a little premature in saying that. I think they won a battle in the war.
Yeah.
I don't think they won the war.
Yep. This is far from being done. Mm-hmm. And now we're just getting to kind of level 2, which that kind of shows you too that this is going to continue. A lot of people thought, the year's coming to an end. This is going to be done. They're going to AMC now. This isn't going to happen anymore. I wouldn't count your chickens on that. I think that they're still going to have a big presence, and I think this is going to continue to go in through AMC. This is just getting started.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. All right, man. Well, you ready to go into some sell or no sell?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. So, and everyone, please get your topics ready. Let me pull up the wheel so we can actually do this the right way. And we've got the first 2 topics, and you all will select the final one. So get your topics ready. And Joe, that's not that.
There we go.
Here we go. So here we go, folks. Sell or no sell?
There you go. Sell or no sell. No offense to Mr. Stiller, by the way, but we kind of incorporated our airing of grievances a little bit into the other part of the show.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Joe, before we get started, you want to give a little Christmas present and just play the airing of grievances?
Yeah, go ahead. It is Festivus season. Why not?
Why
Just
not?
play it. Yeah, why not?
Here's just the sound. Here you go.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now,
There you
All right.
go. There you go. Happy Festivus, everybody.
All right, so sell or no sell. First topic, and this is from a couple weeks ago. We didn't get a chance to ask this one, but I believe this one was from Conrad. But WWE should add a traditional old school Survivor Series match back to Survivor Series. Joe, sell or no sell?
Yeah, I'm going to sell this. I mean, I'm as nostalgic could be as far as wrestling goes. So give me more nostalgia into any of these things and I'm good. Yeah. Look, I miss this kind of stuff. It was one of the reasons why you would watch a lot of these shows, knowing that this is what you were going to get. And so, yeah, I think a lot of times when wrestling modernizes, they kind of forget what brought them there a little bit. And they try to start coming up with new things, which is fine. I get it. You want to evolve, you want to change things up and stuff like that, but don't change it up to the point where you forget where you came from. And you forget what worked for you in the past. So yeah, I would definitely agree with this. I think it's something they have to start. They should start doing again, and going back to, because again, it attracted people to go see it. The people who are there seeing it live would really get a kick out of it. So yeah, I have nothing but this is an easy sell for me.
Yeah, I'm selling. And the one thing I'll say is this: even if they were lazy and just did Raw versus SmackDown,
Yep.
I think people would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I think people just want to see that match again. So sell all day long.
Yeah, remember, Jeff, I think the last time we got kind of the old school part of it was when the wrestlers got stuck in Saudi and they brought in NXT, which I thought was
that year's Survivor Series. Was tremendous.
Yes, it was.
It was tremendous. So,
yes, it was. And that was almost like a disaster because they had to scramble to figure out what the hell they were going to do.
Yeah.
And boy, I'll tell you, they killed it. That was something that really got me watching NXT. I didn't watch a whole lot of it before that. And then when that started, I really became a fan of that. So yeah. Yep. All right, let's see what people are saying. We've got Cell says, Clown, stop putting that on Friday Night SmackDown. Yes, I would agree. Cell says, Billy the Fish. Yes, they should. Big Dan said, Cell, I love the old school matches with the team names like the Visionaries, King's Court, etc. Cell, I mean, it is called Survivor Series. Very true. Brandon says sell as well. Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy one. You don't necessarily have to be just a big fan of nostalgia to enjoy the history of a pay-per-view. And I think sometimes, like I said, I think they just try to do too much and they try to change too much. And certain things should be just left alone and left on the shows. So, yep.
Yeah. Certain recipes you don't have to tinker with. They just stand the test of time.
Yep.
That's one. So.
Yep.
All right. So up next, this one was from James Chadwick a couple weeks ago. TNA should add a mid-card title in the Knockouts division. Joe, sell or no sell?
I like the idea. I'm going to sell it. I think that anytime you can get more of a spotlight on what I always say is my favorite women's division in pro wrestling, I'm down. And I think that having another title to have them fight it out for, look, you're in a position right now, in fact, where you have people that are kind of standing by the wayside a little bit. Like, yeah, you have the Indy Hartwells involved. You have, of course, Lei Ying Lee as your champion and a couple others up there. But you don't, what about everyone else? Maybe you'll get them in a tag team match, or maybe you'll see them. They should have something else that's going to spotlight that division. They look, TNA always wanted to be known for that. Always wanted to be known for that. And so to get another little bit of a spotlight on that, absolutely. I think it's a great idea.
I said that a couple weeks ago. Billy the Fish, kind of echoing what I said. Not only do I think they need one, but I think it needs to be a TNA Knockouts X Division title. Yeah. And you should be able to have an option C and everything, just like you do with the X Division title.
Yep.
I think it adds a level of uncertainty and a little bit of tension to the division, because one of the criticisms that I've heard of the Knockouts division is that most times when they get a champ, you feel pretty confident in that champion being the champion for at least 3 months. You don't get a lot of turnover with that title. Whereas if you add an X division option C element to that division, now you maybe get to see matchups that you didn't think you would. Or maybe you get a chance to give someone a chance at it, a shot at it, to see if they're ready for that moment. So I'm of the belief that they should, and it should definitely be a X division title.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And there have been people saying that ever since Gail left, that it's kind of tailed off a little bit, and they could be right. I still think it's a lot because of injury and a lot because of the people that haven't been around. But an X division, a women's X division, I think would be fantastic. We all know what that spotlights and who that spotlights. A lot of the young talent that are in TNA get spotlighted in that X division. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Let's see if people sell it. It should be women's X division title, says Billy the Fish. Sell, says Damian Robinson. Sean Rousset says sell. They could have war games, but take one match out and replace it with the 5-on-5. That was for our last one, I believe. Randy Jackson once said American Idol runs and riffs are cool, but sometimes you just have to sing the melody. I'm selling in the same time. What should it be called? WWE will begin to mold more NXT superstars into the next big thing in 2026. Sell. The TNA AMC King of Television title. Start a tournament for it on January 15th show, but each round has different match stipulations like 2 out of 3 falls, Iron Man match, and so forth. Look, I'm a big proponent of women's divisions in wrestling, and TNA always stood on that. That they, and we've said it, that they have one of the best, if not the best, women's division in the sport. Well, that's kind of taken a hit. And so in order to do that, if they would bring in another title, that certainly would get it back. So, yeah, that's a great one. I love it.
Yeah, we need, 2 more sell or no sales, by the way.
That was Big Dan. Sorry, I was reading his sell or no sales.
I got his, and I got Brandon's down at the end here.
Okay.
Sell or no sell is all wrestling promotions should have option C. I put a stiff like option C.
Okay.
So yeah, we need 2 more. If you folks can get us 2 more real quick, we would greatly appreciate it. And the ones that don't win, it doesn't mean that they won't ever be used, because the 2 that we just went through were 2 that we had on here. So
I think you got another one from Brandon there, unless somebody else chooses to put one through that we haven't gotten yet. Need one more, guys. One or two more if it's somebody new.
One more, one or two more. Either one. I'll take the first one and we'll roll with it. All right. Here we go.
There you go. All right. Well, we got the wheel ready to go. Jeff will be spinning it, and then we will go into that.
Spin the wheel. We'll make a little deal, and
that's right.
See what happens here. All right. Here we go. Feel like we need dramatic music. And the theme and the question is kind of fits with the theme. John Cena will headline the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame class. Joe, sell or no sell?
This is a tough one because I think ultimately this is going to be up to John. Does he want to go in like right away? Or does he kind of want to wait for a little bit and stuff like that? I'll tell you what. I would like to see. Now, again, we don't know when this is going to happen. But I would like to see him go in the same year that Bray does. I think that would be awesome. Just because of their interactions and stuff that they had. And I think that'd be cool. But again, that's going to be definitely up to Bray's family and them. So I don't know that when that'll be, but that's up to them and they can be ready to do it. But I mean, if I had to, I have to make a decision here. I'll sell it just for the fact that, I mean, he's such a unique individual to the sport and has been such a big name for them. And the fact that he kind of spoke to Stephanie a little bit about her going in and the fact that she's going to be going in this year too. So I'll sell it because it does make a lot of sense that he would be going. But I could see reasons for not it being so soon because there's other kind of things that I would like to see happen there. But I'll sell it for the time being because it does make some sense that being where he is on WWE's quote-unquote Mount Rushmore, that he gets in on like right away does make some sense. So
I don't know if people look at WWE Hall of Fame classes as, oh man, that's a stacked Hall of Fame class or not. Yeah. But I want you to think about a scenario. Think in 2027, you could potentially have a Hall of Fame class of John Cena, Bray Wyatt, Chris Jericho.
Oh boy, yeah.
And the Hardys.
Yeah.
That could be a Hall of Fame class in and of itself.
Yeah.
And if you want to start shifting that narrative and make people pay more attention to your Hall of Fame, that might be a way to do that. But yeah, I just feel like it would make a lot of sense for him to go in the same time as Bray. But a lot of people are bringing up the fact that 2027 Mania is in Saudi. There's a reason why. There's a whole bunch of stuff there, so I could see it happening in Saudi because,
money talks.
Money.
Yeah.
Only word that we need to say.
Well, you know what, Jeff? To be fair, and play devil's advocate maybe a little bit too. They always loved the horror characters there.
Mm-hmm.
Always did. So that I could certainly see that. The only thing is that obviously Bray's family would have
right. So
that's another behind the scenes type of situation. But But yeah, I just think it would be very cool, and Jeff's scenario is would be amazing. So, all right, well, let's see what people are saying. No Cell, that belongs to Steph. He gets inducted in Saudi because no legends are flying there. Cell, says Damien. C says no Cell. I think Cena goes in 2027 in Saudi as an excuse to be at Saudi Mania. Big Dan saying Cell. John going in this year with WrestleMania being stateside would be a slam dunk. However, my next choice would be to go in a potential London WrestleMania 2028 or 2029. Brandon said, I'm going to reserve judgment. You're a good bonus, baby. I don't think there will be a Hall of Fame class in 2027. The show is in Saudi. No, I would be pretty certain there will be. They'll get everything we get. I guarantee you they will, and maybe more.
That's what I was going to say. I think they overloaded that year.
Yeah.
Because of
the
money
talks.
Yeah, money talks, and they're going to want a ton of legends over there. So
yeah, they are. So I guarantee you, Jeff, that's going to maybe be the next time we'll see The Rock.
I would probably guess that, even though if we don't see him, then I'm cool with that too. Because I'm a little bit let down by but yeah, I think that's a possibility.
Cell, I think he will go in, but I would like to see Bray, John, and Batista all go in the same class. I can't hear the word money in Pink Floyd. Money, that's a great song.
My favorite. That's my favorite band of all time. So
every time I listen to Pink Floyd now, every time it like associates with you. I was listening to they used in Black Phone 2. They used some Pink Floyd music in Black Phone 2.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. So yeah. I think they overloaded this year because it's there. Yeah. Good stuff, guys. That was a great question. I enjoyed that one. So all right. Well, there you go, Jeff. We are moving on.
Yeah, it's time to get a little toasty.
Yeah, man. It has been way too cold here. Like, if I have my heater down in the bottom over here next to me, it's like way too cold, dude. Yeah, with the snow, the wind, and everything else, it's like, oh my god, it just came too early. Yeah. But yeah, man, got to turn up the heat. Got to get a little warm in here. Burning question of the week time.
And we've been saving this one.
Okay, all right.
Because I feel like this is such a great question. Okay. From a new wrestling fan, and I really want people in the chat that are here live tonight, but also if you watch this video after the fact, do me a favor, leave a comment, because I feel it's questions like this that help us grow wrestling. Okay, so here's the question. I see a lot of people talk about the matches they love and rave about them. As a newer fan, I guess I'm still learning what makes a match good or not. What are the ingredients to a good match for you guys?
Wow. That's kind of cool.
That is a good question. Thank you so much for sending that in, because I feel like a lot of times as wrestling fans, and this is going to sound funny, but there's no training period basically for a wrestling fan. It's just you jump in when you jump in. You know, hopefully whatever promotion you're watching does a good job of catching you up on what they are doing. If they maybe give you a recap every week, that kind of thing, or they have some good stuff online that you can go back and catch up. But I feel like questions like this don't come around often because I think a lot of people are afraid to ask. So I want to throw this out to the chat. And Joe, what do you think about this question? What would be your answer to this person's question?
I mean, I can go all the way back to when I was first starting to watch wrestling, when I was quite a young little Neanderthal. What hooked me at a young age was the fact that they reminded me of superheroes. Because that's when I was big into comic books and I was big into, all that kind of stuff. but they reminded me of superheroes. And what hooks me to this day is the storyline. And that's the match itself. Look, I marvel at the physicality because I know people like Jeff and like my friend Shane and others who've done it. And I know how hard it is. And so that in itself is amazing to watch. And even when you go to a live event to try, you're trying to watch it in a different way, but they are so good at what they do that you still can't tell. But for me, it's the storyline that does it for me. You get me hooked into a storyline, even if I don't necessarily like the wrestler. And a great example of this is Roman Reigns. Jeff knows I hated Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And I used to talk about it all the time on our show. I could not stand him.
Sure.
And I used to think he was so dull to me, but man, oh man, did he turn around. And that tribal chief thing, I was hooked. And that's what draws me in, and that's what gets me to. And I guess when I look at it in totality, I've always been a storyline guy. You give me my entertainment that's a good storyline, and I'll continue to watch. It's why I watch a series. It's why I'm so excited for these last few episodes of Stranger Things, because I was hooked. And I got hooked into the entire thing, and I couldn't miss any. And it's the same thing with a movie. It's the same thing with a TV show, any of that kind of stuff. If I get hooked, I'm not half paying attention. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm watching intently. And for me, it's 100% storytelling.
Yeah.
So
for me, I think when I look at this question, I think about what the folks in the ring are trying to deliver. I think first and foremost, the question that I ask myself is, did the match entertain me? That's the first ingredient. If you're not entertained by it, you're not going to be into it, period. End of story. You're just not going to be into it. A lot of people, to Clown's point, love deathmatch wrestling. If you see a hardcore match and you don't want to see somebody take a staple gun or a cheese grater or thumbtacks, you're probably not going to like it very much. So does the match entertain you? The next part is, do you feel connected to what the people are in the ring are doing? Do you feel like you can understand why they have a conflict? Because ultimately that's what wrestling is people getting into conflicts and resolving those conflicts. And that keeps it going. That keeps the cycle going. So do you feel connected with what they're saying and why they're in the ring in the first place? Because it's got to matter, I think, in the grand scheme of things. I mean, you can throw matches together last minute, but if it means something in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter if you had a great build or if it was just a last minute thing. You got to be able to connect it all. But I do believe that the other part of wrestling for me that's super important is that the match takes its time. I want to see time. I don't want to see. There are good 5 to 8 minute matches, but other than do a few spots, what else did you accomplish in that 5 to 8 minutes? There are people who can tell a hell of a story in 5 to 8 minutes. But typically, I like to see time given to a match. 10 minutes plus, I'd say, to really get into the whys, to see the athleticism, to see the adversity for both people or teams or whoever, to see that adversity hit both and how they respond to it. So that that's what I think makes a good match. I think, but first and foremost, you've got to be connected to it. You've got to be entertained by it, because if you're not, it's just not going to hold you. And I would equate it, if I were speaking to this person directly, I would say equate it to watching your favorite TV shows or movies. What is it about those shows or movies that drew you in? Okay, now think about the matches that you've liked, that you've seen, that you were like, "Ooh, that was pretty cool," or that's okay. I can go to the bathroom during this one. That's not real cool. Think about those, and that's how you really start to develop what your recipe is for the matches that you like, because every single person's ingredients are completely different.
Oh yeah.
And you get to make your own recipe. So, but I did say thank you for asking that question. I love some of the comments we're getting here in the chat, Joe.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's everybody's taste in. We're all different. Everybody's taste in entertainment is different. I got super excited seeing that trailer for Disclosure Day, because I am into that stuff. That is me through and through. I love the alien stuff. I love Spielberg's movies. But that sucked me in, and I know I'm going to go. And regardless of what I read, if I read crappy reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't care. I'm going anyway, because that's just who I am, and that's what I like, and it kind of just defines you. So, yeah, let's see what people are saying here. We've got, I believe you could tell a great story in the ring if you watch stuff like New Japan Pro Wrestling. Brandon says, for me, as follows: storyline, the build up to that match, contract signing, and finally final face-to-face promo. You can add believability to a match. It definitely helps when you're into the match and you don't know what's going to happen next. Perfect example would be WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels and Taker. I mean, when you're on the edge of your seat because you can't guess it, that's really good, man. I mean, and again, compare this to things that you enjoy outside of wrestling. Compare it to a movie. When you get a movie spoiled for you, what happens? It sucks, because you'll still go watch it, but it's not the same. Mm-hmm. So that, so yeah, 100%. Merry Christmas to you as well, Jen. 10 minutes at least lets you build emotions. You hate someone, you're cheering for the other. Let's see what else. Did I miss anyone? The ingredients to a match are chemistry, Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect SummerSlam, storytelling, Cody versus Roman, crowd reaction, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Yeah, a little bit of all three. A little bit of all three. Good match often needs a distinct face and a heel, says Billy the Fish. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes wrestling blurs those lines a little too much. At least in my opinion. Sometimes they make it a little bit more indistinguishable about who you're supposed to be rooting for, because sometimes you just don't know. Now, we could go all the way back to the beginning of our show, and a guy like Gunther, you're not supposed to be rooting for him. Yet.
And you know it.
Yeah, and you do know it, but yet there will be. There will be people because there's people that just want to watch the world burn. So... Yeah. It's, I had to quote a great line from Batman, by the way. But yeah, it's a great question. And it's cool because, sometimes you lose track of why you like things. And it's good to kind of just re-examine it, take yourself back to why you got into it in the first place. And then you're like, oh, yeah. So, yeah, I love it. I love it.
Good question. All right. Well, are we ready for some favorite moments of the week?
Yes, sir. I am prepared for favorite moments. All right. We're moving on, guys.
Before we do that, Joe, I did want to point out that AEW.
Oh, yeah. We almost forgot.
Yeah, because I don't, for whatever stupid reason, I don't have the graphic in here. But AEW, let me see if I can pull the graphic in real quick. has World's End on the 27th, which is Saturday.
In Chicago, Illinois, Saturday, December 27th. Yeah.
So here we go. So this is
There you go.
World's End. I'm telling you, I'm so into this AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. Man, but if you're in the chat and you have another match, let us know what match you're looking forward to the most in this one. But I'm really looking forward to the World Championship match now that you've got MJF back in the mix. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be Swerve against Samoa Joe, against Hangman Adam Page, and MJF. And then the AEW Women's World Championship, Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter. Then you've got the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. That should be good. Babes Wrath and Mercedes Moné and Athena. So that should be good. And then you get the Continental Classic semifinals and finals. I think it's going to be an excellent night of wrestling, but they definitely pulled me in with this past episode of Dynamite, Joe.
Yeah, Takashita and Okada as well. This looks like a really good one, man. I mean, 6 matches. Definitely looks like you've got some good stuff going on here. And we talked about MJF a little bit earlier. Is this his time? Is he going to end up winning the match? This looks like a really, really fun card. And it's planned on a really good time. It's after Christmas. You don't got a ton of stuff going on. This is I think it's going to be a fun show. No doubt. I think it's going to be a fun show.
Yeah, and the Continental Classic, that's always a fun tournament. So
Yep, absolutely. So make sure you check out AEW on Saturday.
And stay tuned to Tazzy's socials because he said he's going to he might do a watch along. So stay tuned for that.
Tazzy loves those 8-hour streams, man.
All right, man. Well, let's get into some favorite moments of the week, shall we?
Yeah, you guys know how this works. 3, 2, 1. We will start at your number 3s and make our way up to number 1. So, all right, everybody. And Jeff, what was your number 3 favorite moment of this week in wrestling?
Well, I'll play this. All right, so my number 3 favorite moment of the week was seeing Gunther absolutely be the heel that we need going into 2026. That's my number 3. I thought he didn't do too much on Monday. And I think that's why I liked it so much. So that's my number.
Didn't have to.
Right. Yeah, didn't have to.
Didn't have to. And he got booed all out of Hershey, man.
Yeah, he sure did.
He got booed out of Chocolate Town. Oh, man. I am going to start with SmackDown. And I used to like seeing this, and there was a time when they used to do this a lot more, and to the point where it got a little crazy. But I always kind of like it when wrestlers go to each other's houses and continue a fight. And when Cody, infringed on Drew's property and came in there all crazy like, and all this was there and all that kind of followed him to Drew's house. I thought that was cool. I like that stuff. I mean, we were seeing a lot of that in TNA as well back in the day for a while. We used to, the Hardys are really good with that kind of thing. And again, I like it because it adds to the overall storyline. And then, of course, the ramifications of that and what we got later on from Cody getting driven a little bit crazy by Drew. So, I thought that was cool. I didn't really expect that to happen. But when I saw that that Aldis was in the house, I'm like, oh boy, you're gonna get a brawl, and we did. So that was my number 3. All right, let's see what everybody got as their number 3 out there. We have Say His Name and Joe Hendry will appear on SmackDown, says Bonus Baby. Damien says Gunther getting booed out of Chocolate Town on Raw this past Monday. Clown says AJ not caring about Pennsylvania weather and wearing a shirt like the cold didn't want none. And it was
brave. He's braver than I was walking out there in that.
Right, and it was cold there. Did you see the snow and everything outside?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was frigid there. 3, Gunther embracing the supervillain role and drawing the loudest boos on Monday. Yeah, I thought I didn't think there'd be anything less than that for him. No doubt got booed out of the building and actually smiled all throughout doing it.
All through it.
Yep, loved it. Absolutely loved it. We got any number 3s? Any more number 3s? If not, we'll move on.
All right.
And we will go to our number 2s.
My number 2 comes from TNA Wrestling, and it comes from the Righteous, Vincent, and Dutch helping Matt Hardy. We'll see how much help they are in the coming weeks and months, but that was an awesome video package, and I love the Righteous. I'm glad to see him back in TNA. So,
yep, we definitely dig, man. We dig. I'm going to share Jeff's number 2. I did go and watch that segment, and because I love those guys. I think they're awesome, and so the fact that they got involved with Matt and Jeff, and it looks like they're going to continue to do that, is very, very exciting. And I was super excited when we were watching the pay-per-view and we saw those guys show up. So I cannot wait to see what happens next. I'm very excited for it. And I'm going to share Jeff's number 2. Absolutely love that the Righteous are back. And I think that's amazing. So, all right, let's see. We got a couple more number 3s. My 3 is Thea Hill winning the WNA title, says Brandon. Sean Rousset, Leon Slater becoming number 1 contender for the NXT Championship. Clown says Bear Bronson in TNA. Dude deserves all the successes. Yeah, I did see that.
He won that Battle Royal, and that was I mean, the final 3. It was Bear Bronson, Eric Young, Ryan Nemeth. That was your final 3.
Okay,
and it was a lot of fun. It was chaos, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Damien, and now we're going to number 2. Damien's Ariana Grace turning on Santino post a steel cage match. Bonus Baby MJF roasting asses on Dynamite. Sean Rousset says Cody Rhodes getting unhinged in his promo, telling Nick Aldis he works for me. And then Brandon says number 2 is Ariana betraying Santino, her own father, after Team TNA's win. All right. Well, there you go. The number 2s. We're going to go to our number 1s. We got Ariana Grace turning on Santino and siding with the NXT Outlaws, says Andrew Stevens. Okay. Keep giving news, but we're moving on to the top moment of the week. Jeff, what is your
all right?
Number 1?
My number 1, quite simply, I thought that every single wrestling show that I watched this week, every single one, was excellent. I want to give my number 1 to every single promotion because they knocked it out of the park this week. Raw was good. NXT was good last week. Dynamite was great. TNA was great. SmackDown I thought was good. I saw most of it, so I thought that was good. I got to give the flowers to all the companies because I thought this was a great week in wrestling. I really did. So kudos to all the companies and all the talent out there.
It's great when your entertainment makes you happy, isn't it? Yeah, that's a great thing that we don't have so much, so we didn't really have anything to grieve about. All right, let's see. We got someone already said it in theirs, but come on, man. Joe Hendry on SmackDown already. Yeah, man, he's moving on up. I love to see my boy on SmackDown, and I think that's great. Joe is going to make that show even better. I mean, it's going to 3 hours, so you're going to have more opportunity there. And I think it's. I told you guys it wouldn't be long. I said, even if he was going to stay in NXT, I said I didn't think it would be long, and it looks like that Joe is going to be a mainstay on one of those main show rosters very, very, very quickly. That's my number one. Obviously, the ending of TNA was very cool, father versus daughter kind of thing. That's storyline that'll get me sucked into that as well. But let's see what you guys have as your number ones. Mick Foley pulling a Popeye and can't stands no more. Listen, Mick's always been kind of a rebel, and he's not afraid to say what he feels, and he feels strongly about it. And look, you got to stand up for your ideals in this world, and regardless of whether it's going to sometimes cost you, which in his case is going to cost him money, but he doesn't care. And he's old enough where he can certainly stand up and do that. Did he get a lot of likes for it? He did not. He got a lot of dislike and hatred for it, but I don't think he cares. And that's his option. So,
right. And Joe, can I just add to that?
Yeah.
No matter what side or where you land on the political spectrum, is this type of stuff that's inspiring.
Yeah.
When people feel a conviction of their morals and ethics and things that they believe in to the point where they say, I know that I have this lucrative opportunity, but I'm going to forego that because what's going on with the company that I'm attached to and their support of something that I don't agree with, I can no longer be a part of that. And it takes courage because, like Joe said, it's not like, he got pats on the back and he got kudos and all of that. But as many people gave him kudos and all of that, there were just as many ready to rip him to shreds. And
I even
saw some people say, he wasn't that great anyway.
Yep.
He's overrated anyway. So it's like,
Yep.
Good for me to stand on his square. That's how I feel about it.
Yep, agreed. People calling him a sellout and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, 100%. He took a stand, and sometimes that's what you got to do in life. Ethan Page trying to slink away, and Moose challenging him for the NXT North American title.
Yeah.
MJF returns on Dynamite. Leon Slater becoming the number one contender for the NXT title. Gunther's promo from Saturday night's main event. MJF obliterating Samoa Joe. Hangman and Swerve, 1B Continental Classic Chaos. Sean Rousseau, the Psycho Circus match versus the Wyatt Six. Good old crazy fun seeing Joe Gacy going in a small bounce house. Oh, that's fun. Bonus Baby throws in RIP to Rob Reiner. Thanks for the laughs, Meathead, and RIP to Gil Gerard. Yeah, two big celebs, man. I was of course, know who Rob Reiner is and Archie Bunker and all that kind of stuff, but all the movies that he's done, horrible tragedy that happened there. And then Gil Gerard, I was a big fan of Buck Rogers. Watched that all the time. And I actually met Aaron Gray some years back at a convention that I went to. And I grew up on that show. And of course, he was a big part of that. So yeah, very sad. But yeah, two actors and directors in Rob Reiner's case gone, which is very, very sad. So. All right. Well, there you go. I think we've gotten everybody's stuff, and that is going to wrap it up for this evening's show. We appreciate you guys and all of the participation in all the segments of the show, and of course, coming out on a Sunday night to check out the show. We really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please make sure that you drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell to be notified about when we have future content. And our schedule's a little bit limited this week because of the holidays, but you see it up there. Obviously, we're here right now tonight, and then we've got Fireflies Forever on Tuesday. Make sure you join Jeff and Chris. Things are really heating up in that area. I did meet I did meet both of them. I also met the actress who played Batgirl at that same thing. Oh my gosh, her name is escaping me now, but yeah. So that same convention that Aaron Gray was at, I met. Oh, and I also met Counselor Troy from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh wow,
Marina Sirtis. Yeah. So there was a lot of and that was the same one where I met Elvira. So yeah, that was a great convention. That was a great convention. So, all right, guys. But yeah, check out Chris and Jeff on Tuesday. They should have a lot to talk about and a lot to discuss on Fireflies Forever because of what's going on there. And, of course, the stuff with the righteous and things like that will probably be brought up during that conversation too. So make sure you check all that out. But other than that, guys, please, well, not please, but I hope you all and wish you all the merriest and happiest of Christmases. I hope you all spend it with your families, your friends, whoever it is that you care about the most, that you're able to do that. And again, just stay safe through the holidays. And of course, this is the time of the year when what I say at the end of every show means even more, and that's be kind to one another. And you know, even during this time of the year, be kind to others that maybe you don't necessarily know all that much. I knew a lot of people, and I've never done it, but I know people that have gone to like soup kitchens and has done that kind of thing during the holidays, which is just an amazing thing for people that do it. And they've all told me that the feelings they got from doing it. And so, you know, so if you don't necessarily celebrate or you're not doing a lot of stuff, that's something to consider. It just gives you that warm feeling that you helped some people in need at a time when they could really use it. So, but yeah. And then of course we'll see you all afterwards. When the holiday celebration is over, we'll see you then again next Sunday, right here. And we'll talk about all the stuff that went on in the past week of wrestling. So, all right, guys. Well, Merry Christmas. I will be enjoying Stranger Things on the night of Christmas, Christmas Eve for sure. So have a great week, guys, in wrestling, no matter which one you watch. Enjoy it. And hopefully we will talk to you on our next episode of Between the Ropes. Have a great holiday, everybody. Merry Christmas to you all. And I hope you all get something fun from Santa. And we will talk to you all on the next show, guys. Stay safe. Be kind to one another always, especially during the holidays. And hopefully we see you all on the next one. Have a great night and a great holiday. We'll see you soon.